It is Monday, August 2nd, 2021. I'm going to call the Prescott Planning Commission meeting to order. We'll take roll call. Connie?
Yes.
Steve?
Here.
Lothar?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
And Rob?
Here.
Do you want to go up, Todd?
Pardon?
Does Todd want to go up?
He's
Okay.
okay. Who am I missing? Josh, right?
Josh.
That's it? Okay. Next on my agenda is the approval of the minutes of July 6th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes, July 6, 2021.
I'll second.
Motion made, second, approve the minutes of July 2nd, 2021. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is open the public hearing for rezoning of property currently known as the Sears property. It's temporarily zoned I-3 Mixed Industrial Commercial District as described, and I'm not going to describe the legal description because nobody's going to keep up. But it's about approximately 150.4 acres. So I entertain a motion to open a public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Motion made, second to open the public hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, who wants to present? Nobody? Anybody?
You want me?
Anybody in the audience, you have an opinion on the rezoning? Now would be time to step forward, state your name, address, and any thoughts you have on the rezoning of the Sears property.
Okay, I can give a quick little overview. It's just the 150 acres that we purchased from the Sears. It does take out the farm because that's not included in the Sears property at
That
all.
building out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so what we're looking at is going with an I-3 zoning, which is industrial commercial. So I kind of look at it like, I always use the example of the cookie factory over in River Falls where they make the product and it can go walk out the door. That's why we go with the industrial and commercial. That would include the commercial, would include like the distribution centers, other manufacturings, so.
I guess I didn't look up in the ordinance, so I should have known. Does commercial also allow them, let's say, put a McDonald's out along Highway 10?
It would,
Okay,
yep.
so something on that order.
So,
All right, any questions from the commission? I guess it's public hearing, actually.
yeah.
Any public comments whatsoever? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made second to close the public hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda then is the rezoning for the property currently known as the Sears property. Let's see if I can find that. So in your packet, of course, we have the ordinance 1521, which we annexed the property. We had our public hearing, the map. What am I looking at next here? Do I got to?
Nope, then we just need a motion.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the rezoning of the Sears property to an I-3 Mixed Industrial Commercial District.
Make a motion to approve the rezoning of Sears property to an I-3 Mixed Commercial and Industrial District.
Second. Motion made second to approve the rezoning of it's now the City of Prescott property east of our current industrial park to an I-3 Mixed Industrial Commercial District. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next item on the agenda is final plat for the Palmetto subdivision phase 2. This would be the south half along Borner Street. It's Robert Street going out to Borner Street. And then there's a cul-de-sac in there. I believe this whole section here, this next phase is all twin homes in the second phase of this. And so the cul-de-sac, Harris Court, that'll kind of abut that pond just to the southwest of that property. And then there's a road to the south of that. That's been maintained by the city. And that's mainly access to that pond. So we will maintain that road. It just will not be improved on the south side of that property. Anybody have any questions or discussion? The original preliminary plat, this was approved, but they want to do 2 phases. This is the second phase to approve this survey map. Any questions, any discussion? Anybody? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the final plat for the Palmetto subdivision Phase 2.
I'll make the motion to approve the final plat for Palmetto.
Motion made, second, to approve the final plat for the Palmetto subdivision Phase 2. Any other discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is the final plat for the Great River subdivision, second edition. And this one I know we approved the preliminary. And looks like Dan Kugel, I think who Ogden Engineering worked for the most. Now it says, I just happened to notice the survey indicates that all exterior monuments have been set by the and the city of Prescott temporarily waived the placing of the interior monuments. What are the interior monuments? Anybody know?
So they marked where all the streets are going to go,
Yeah.
but I don't believe that all of the inside ones have been marked, all of the lots.
For each lot, so.
Correct.
The only reason, so are they going to? The only
Yeah.
reason I ask that is when it comes to setbacks, it's always nice to have a stake there. That's my only thought.
Right, no, they will have to do
Okay.
that, but it's just,
That'll be done once they
Right.
get the road and stuff put in,
correct.
right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's see, complies with the local, I'm just looking at the state's letter, which was returned. I think we checked all this and it does meet all those
Yep.
criteria, stormwater runoff, so forth, so on.
Right.
Anybody have any questions about this final plat? We'll have one, I believe, sidewalk going through. I don't see it on here, but that's just because it's the plat. It's not the as-built.
Correct.
What street was that going to be on that sidewalk? Was that on?
Well, that was going to be on Pleasant Drive, where we even talked about going down the center of the block, but I don't know what we decided.
I think they got that gap between 59 and 60, so we got a bunch of them there.
Well, but that's to get to the park, but there's supposed to be a sidewalk either down Pleasant Drive, which, again, as they say, goes to nowhere, and it does at this point, but eventually the city's getting their map, their trail system set up, and at some point, we'd probably try to get a sidewalk from here all the way down to kind of McGee Park Trail and so forth, so everybody has a place to go. People do like to walk. I mean, I know people are excited about the trail system, and this would just enhance that, be part of tying it in. So I don't know, we have that,
It's on the Pleasant. That's where you're putting it. That's where it's going to come out, so you can get directly to the
and that was
park.
part of our approval form before. So this is just the final plat. The
Correct.
concept, we said that sidewalk go in,
Yes.
this is just the final plat. So it's lots, looks like we have easements all around each lot. That way they have the option of putting water or electric or anything up the lot line, down the front of the lot, down the back, depends on how they develop it. Any questions? I know we talked about Mark Twain, but I don't know if that's going through right away because we have an outlet to Hollister, so you've got two ways in and out of that subdivision. It's not like one road gets blocked and the fire department and EMS can't get in there. So, any thoughts, any questions? Anybody?
Were they gonna put the water through that Mark Twain, a water loop there?
No.
No.
Not at this time.
Okay.
We'll have a hydrant there and eventually it'll come off that hydrant. So we don't have any deadheads, which I know is another thing. We don't want that water to get stale, so they have a hydrant there to flush it. So, thank you, Steve.
That's it.
Anything else anyone can think of? Thoughts? And I think they meet our subdivision lot sizes and the whole ball of wax. I think it looks good.
I think it looks really good.
And again, along Hollister, those are the single-family ones, like the twin homes or something, or no?
They're just little smaller lots.
Little
for
smaller lots, yeah, for the
smaller
okay.
home.
All right. All right. If nobody has any questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the final plat for Great River Subdivision, second edition.
So moved.
Second. Motion made second to approve the final plat for the Great River Subdivision, second edition, as presented us tonight. Is there any other discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Concept plan for deck for Two Rivers Bar and Grill is the next item on the agenda. And this looks like the original one they submitted to us, which looks like to me it goes out in the public right of way. So I know I'm not going to approve that in any way, shape, size, or form. Look at
Okay.
Jane.
Well, Rob was down. We did a walkthrough with the Parks Committee.
Yep.
And so we've talked to all of them with the Parks Committee. There has been, there'll be a land sale for that public property to be sold to Two Rivers. So Mike was down there again today, just making sure everything was good. We're going to sell them 1,500 square feet is what we're looking at. And so there will be none of their deck will be in the public right of way. Now, it will probably be directly on the property line where their posts are for the deck, but it won't cantilever over, we had originally talked about it possibly cantilevering over where the parking was at. None of that's going to be happening at all. There won't be any cantilever over into the public right-of-way. It is 2 levels, as we had discussed originally. So,
All right.
so we've been working with them through Parks and Public Property. There were
Yep.
some other things that the Parks Committee had asked them to do some sidewalks that would become their sidewalks, and
They're going to connect the sidewalk from, it comes down from the street, and then it'll connect with the sidewalk that's going to come across from the railroad side.
Yep.
And that they're going to pick that up.
Our
They
trails.
didn't have any problem with that at all. And that sidewalk runs all the way down their property.
right.
Okay, so again, well, I think it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So
They're
my,
really nice to talk to and work with.
so my only concern is they're not buying public right of way. They're only buying that lot to the south of
That
it.
is correct.
So that public right of way arch will stay there and they'll stay behind that.
Correct.
Yeah. So then my only thought is, again, as a building inspector, I'm saying adding decks is like adding a building. It's
Yep.
square footage, and they will submit this to the state for approval.
And more bathrooms.
More bathrooms.
I'm not saying that. The state will tell them that, but yeah, so more bathrooms.
More bathrooms.
We just know that there's more square footage, and so we want to make sure they understand that.
And they'll have more drawings.
Yep.
They're just here as a concept. They want to make sure before they move forward with anything that Planning Commission and Council are good with everything.
Okay, anybody on the commission? Steve?
They show a ramp out there in front on the city property.
Yeah.
How can they do that?
Where's the ramp? I mean, let's see here.
Are you talking about the far right? Or the far right?
Right below the existing sidewalk, it says existing sidewalk.
Right here.
There's a ramp coming off that. Oh, right now,
Let's see what we're
I've
talking
been in that place.
Right here.
There's no ADA handicap ramp
He's
going
talking
into
about
that
putting the
upper
ramp,
level.
that's the
That upper
existing
level?
sidewalk, because this is the
So
property line right now.
that, they are going to be coming, their ADA will be coming off of the sidewalk. That's how
How
their
can they put
ADA.
that on the city property?
Well, it's going to be made so that it will meet right up with the sidewalk there. And that's how they'll.
Well,
they'll-
In the
Yeah.
drawing,
We have
they have
drawn
it
on here.
out on the property,
Yep, yep, yep.
on the city property.
I see what
What am
you're
I
saying. I didn't notice that before.
No, because it goes straight.
I know
down.
this is
Because
Smaller,
it's smaller, I'm asking. Because like the sidewalk, See how it way, curves? there's a guardrail here too, I think. I know
Okay.
it's coming this way.
Oh,
It's up
no,
against the
okay, because this is
No,
part of that other piece of
Thank
property.
you.
is
I see that
right.
point. Yep.
Okay, I read it.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
that's all I want to make sure they're not
Probably
using
not
our
gonna-
property
No,
for
right,
this
right.
ramp.
Right.
Well, it's pretty narrow there too, so.
In reality, I think they might be on the city right away, but I think the city does not block the sidewalk, because the sidewalk does, as Steve just pointed out to me, narrows there and starts going
Right.
up along the
I think
guardrail.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah.
reasonable use. I guess the only thing we could say is we want a waiver from saying anything that happens on that ramp, since it's on city
Okay.
property that they build, they hold the city harmless.
If it is on city property.
If it is, you know, that is it.
See, right now, they're not compliant.
Yep. I'm surprised
They got
it,
steps going up from that south end, and then they have another step on that old door from the pilot house.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's just, you know, of course, that's the old street. It used to be probably high, and then they redid
Well,
it down.
there was a ramp there, with concrete ramp that went into the pilot house.
There was back in the, oh, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, because there's that little cove in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was up, yep,
So they gotta comply.
yep. And that's probably what this is an intent, so I still say if it ends up on city right away, we just have a
Yep, I mean,
All right.
liability.
Get a waiver.
insurance. And then, of course, it's not gonna be in the street right away. That's the only two concerns I have. Anybody else have any thoughts or questions?
No.
If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the concept plan as presented.
So
Well,
moved.
with those conditions.
With caveats.
Second.
I got a motion made and second to approve the concept plan for the deck for Two Rivers Bar and Grill. Is there any other discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Last item on, second last item. Any other business anybody has? Any questions, any thoughts?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. I got a motion made and second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
wasn't.
Motion carried. Thank everybody for your participation tonight. You guys are way too slow.